Hi, I'm Brandon. I love The Way Home.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and there was a brief moment near the end of this episode where I actually was longing for Ride. We'll talk about it.
I'm Dan. Nothing I can say can match what Ryan just said. This is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Oh my gosh. This is the Deck the Hallmark podcast!
This is podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome.
I don't want to give anything away before the hot take segment, but I can't wait to hear, because I have some feelings, but none of them are, man, I wish we could have more tough tones and Nancy Travis.
Well, listen, even at the worst of Ride, I've been missing the tough stuff. Like, let's
that's
be
fair.
clear
That's
about
fair.
that.
You're right. I went to the best part.
Well, and I will
It's on
say,
me.
Ride's ability to introduce a new character every episode.
And they are, yeah. Jeannie, we got really late.
Yeah, it was like really
Oh, we
impressive.
love Jeannie.
And they're still trying to work out that Jean's contract, from what I understand. Janine.
Janine?
Yes, Janine.
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 Really quickly, because we got a lot to get to.
Well, a lot to get
A lot
to.
of episode to talk about.
Sure.
Ryan, your thoughts on the new Beyonce album? Go.
I've not listened yet.
So I sampled every single track. I like it, but Bran, you're big anti-Beyonce,
Not-
right?
hold
Didn't that happen
on.
on
Bran
this?
hates
Didn't that happen just a couple
Beyonce.
weeks ago?
Bran hates Beyonce.
I do not hate Beyonce.
Bran hates Beyonce.
I don't hate
But
Beyonce.
I remember on this show, I think it was on this season of The Way Home, you made it very
Yes.
clear that you're anti-Beyonce.
Bran hates Beyonce.
So your question is a country album gonna bring me around to Beyonce?
Like you're a big Jolene covers fan, right? Anybody covers Jolene, you're in, right?
Yeah, sure. No, I think that what I've heard is fine. Yeah.
I've not listened at all, but I'm excited to listen. I like Beyonce and I like some country music. So
Honestly, that's kind of where I land too. And so, yeah, I listened to about 30 seconds of every track. I just kind of went through, and I was like, there was enough that I earmarked as like, oh yeah, I'll like this. So I'll give it a full listen at some point, and I'm sure I'll enjoy
Willie
it.
Nelson
unlike
says
Bran.
hi at some point in the album. And that's a
fun.
Oh yeah, there's a couple
Yeah.
interstitials that seem
I'm
right.
going to live and say
Yeah.
if she does she do a Jolene cover?
She does.
Okay. I bet. Who else?
Taylor Swift.
She's on the cover of Jolene?
No, she's on the album.
Oh, wow.
With Beyonce. She does background vocals on
Good of
Bodyguard.
Beyonce to give her a chance. That's really nice of her to
Yeah.
give her a
And Miley
shot.
Cyrus.
I just think Beyonce would crush a Jolene cover. I don't know why people are like, she would destroy. She would.
What do you mean you don't know why people
Like-
are going nuts about this?
But like, I
love
thought
this.
the pushback that I was getting from Ryan was like, Dolly Parton stands are upset. She did.
I don't think
No,
so.
I think
everybody is.
I do think there's been some slight discourse of people thinking that Beyonce didn't rip it enough, but I don't know if that's coming from Beyonce fans or just people, Dan, that you're saying are upset that she's doing it in the first
I think
place.
it's a.
What I heard was delightful.
I think it's a great fit. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's dive in. Season 2, episode 10. Bring Me to Life.
Wake me up.
Originally aired
Save me.
Come on now.
Thank you.
on Easter Sunday,
Can't wake up.
March. Happy Easter.
I'm only the background guy. I don't do anything.
Happy belated Easter. Happy belated Easter.
Easter.
to both, and happy belated Dingus
happy
Day. Happy
ding, yeah, belated dingus.
Wednesday.
That's exactly
You
right.
are the lead singer of 12 Stones. Is who that guy
Oh, really?
is. Yeah.
Can't wake up.
All the things I.
Can't believe I couldn't see.
Not a Christian Mendo, and don't call him. that.
No. Up in the dark, and when you were there in front of me.
March 31st, 2024.
Sorry. Go ahead, Brand. Review the
Hey,
episode. Okay.
just picture this. You're in Costa Rica with
Oh,
me and
boy.
Dan, and you are invited into a wonderful family's home to sleep
Post-home.
for the night.
Yes.
And, it's me and Dan in a room about the size of this table.
And I've got 50 more pounds on me than I have right now, minimum.
Yeah.
Probably 60.
Okay.
And on the wall is a poster for Evanescence.
That's right.
Are you serious? That sounds fake.
No, I
it's
know.
a true story.
It sounds like something that would have been created by AI, but it's not.
No, it
This is a
isn't.
real
Just a sweltering.
situation
They
that
gave us the
happened.
room in the middle of the house to feel safe. There's no ventilation anywhere. It's Brandon and I are sleeping shoulder to shoulder with no
Watching WrestleMania on my computer.
WrestleMania on his computer.
Oh wait, this is the same story.
With the Evanescence,
Wow, because I've heard that
Evanescence
story
poster
before.
and a Twilight poster on the walls, and that's it.
Have I ever posted the picture of you doing
Doing the Edward
Twilight?
Jacob thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta find it. It's
I think
good.
you've already oversold it. It's a pretty. We love it because the silhouette's perfect.
It's
but,
great.
You know,
It was
it
great.
is what it is.
See the Bring Me to Life, March 31st, 2024, and I went a little something like this. Let's see if the music runs out. The episode kicks off with Kat running on the beach, trying to tell Thomas that he's going to die soon. So, hey, we got to go. And he's like, yeah, dude, I know I'm going to die. I made the deal. She tells him, well, run with me. Let's run away. And he says, if I run, Jacob dies. He says, I have to tell you something, though. I didn't mean to shoot you that one day way back when. I was aiming for Cyrus. And so she then blames herself that everything has happened because she came out of the water. Not wrong. But he tells her, hey, get out of here, but I'm going to kiss you a hard one. And also, here's 2 coins. You have a piece of me to
here's
take
a
with
couple
you,
of
I
coins.
guess. Here's a couple of coins.
Couple pennies for your thoughts.
She's back in the present at the newspaper, the archive, if you will, and is thinking about Thomas and all the good times. She turns around and throws that gun that she has on display in a box. At the cafe, Noah comes up. Remember Noah? And Alice tells him to get lost. We all remember why she's mad.
Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to tell you. No one has to tell me. So he leaves, and then Casey shows up. We all remember Casey, and comes up and says hi. Alice says, I guess we're going to be seeing some more of each other now that your dad bought the land. And Casey's like, yeah, my dad bought the land. Alice asks Casey to promise that their family will always take good care of the farm. Casey says, you betcha. Elliot then shows up.
She's Sarah Palin?
You betcha.
You betcha.
At the farm, Sam shows up and tells Dell, hey, I've been thinking about getting a new horse now that you're over there.
Did you say horse?
Yeah, hanging
That
out.
really sounded like horse. I just want to be clear.
Thank you. Yes, I
Okay.
did. She's not even, doesn't even want to have a conversation right now. You love
I
Evan
love
Essence.
Evan Essence.
I know you
It's
do.
so good.
Sam wants to move past this whole, like, hey, what's going on here between them? And Dell tells Sam, hey, what's even the point, though? I signed the papers. You know, I think I'm happy with that. And Sam's like, well, as long as you're happy about signing the papers and selling your family farm. Alice tells Elliot how she blames herself for Kat and Dell not talking all of these years. And Elliot says, there's more to this story, and you're going to find out about it soon. She will, because she jumps, and she ends up in 2008. She goes to find Elliot, who tells her that he just finished teacher school. Teacher. Elliot says he hasn't spoken to Kat since the whole hit the hand the thing, that party, bad party time. And Dell went back home to North Carolina for a few weeks. North Carolina.
We knew that.
How about that? Kat then shows up and says, hey, I'd like to talk. So Alice goes and she hides. In present day, Elliot and Kat are talking about how she tells him, tells her.
You got it.
Elliot and Kat are talking, and she tells him about Thomas getting shot and shows the coins. And he is blown away by these coins from the 1800s. And she's like, hey, my dead old lover from the 1800s gave those to me. Some respect, please.
Yeah.
Back in 2008, Kat tells Elliot that she's embarrassed about what happened at the party, and but I do want to fix things, and I want to fix things also with my mom. She tells him about how she needed a break from being a mom and that it's hard and she's feeling a little bit lost. And he tells her, I'm sure that you're an amazing mom. And Kat is about to leave, and she says, Elliot, will you please give my mom this envelope? It has a picture of baby Alice in it and a plane ticket to come and visit. And he's like, well, I'm leaving. There's nothing I can do. I'm leaving. I finished teacher school. I'm leaving. So at this point that his dad comes in and is like, oh, yeah, I'll give that to your mom. No problem. JK. She walks out the door and he's like, Landry's suck. Am I right, son? Alice says goodbye to Elliot and leaves. In present day, Kat once again tries to convince Dell not to sell the farm, saying, hey, you're going to regret it. Alice goes to find Elliot, gives him a hug, thanks him for encouraging Kat back in 2008. Alice notices Elliot's open notebook and says, hey, what you working on here? And he's like, well, I got a theory. It's called the Finn theory. My theory is that the pond won't let you time travel with somebody, a Landry forward, but maybe we could travel back. If I jump in with you now, since we're both here, then we could potentially go back. And she's like, well, there's only one way to find out. Let's jump in. And so they go. They get to the pond, they jump in, and they pop out, and it works! We think. In present day, Kat walks alone in the cemetery. She sees Susanna's grave. Kat wipes Susanna's grave off and sees a symbol of a sun in the corner, and she has a memory of the same painting, the My Catherine painting, that has that same sun symbol in the corner. Did Susanna paint that painting? Who knows? Back in the past, Alice and Elliot see Colton working, and Alice says, hey, you should go talk to him. So he tells Colton, hey, I'm lost, stumbled upon your farm here, and Colton invites him to help run electricity to this barn so that her daughter's friend Elliot could have electricity in a special spot. He explains that they built this treehouse together so that he would always have a place to escape his tough dad. Elliot comes close to warning Colton about the future, but stops himself because he knows.
Yeah, can't do anything
Can't
about
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
In present day, Kat looks at the painting and sees some letters on it that she's never noticed before. I don't know if you remember this, Susanna. She writes backwards.
She writes backwards.
So do with that what
And
you want.
if you put a mirror on it, it says, I love the devil.
That's exactly right. And that brings her to a stone on the house fireplace with those same letters in it. So she chips that stone out, and inside of it is a book called The Founding of Port Haven, written by Susanna. Susanna left a note saying, hey, this isn't a story that I was able to tell in my time. Maybe you can tell it in your time. And also includes the page that Jacob had ripped out of the almanac, if you recall that information. Back in time, Alice and Elliot watch the Landrys and young Elliot play with fireworks in that scene that we saw earlier in the season, and sees Colton having a conversation with young Elliot about the treehouse. He's so happy about the electricity. Who wouldn't be? Adult Elliot shifts a little bit, causes a branch cracking sound, and they're like, hey, somebody's there. And so they decide they're going to scurry away.
Someone is still there.
And as they scurry away, we see another person who is also watching. We see that we remember the scene from earlier in the season. We saw that
from the pilot.
We
the premiere of
we
season 2.
theorized who it could be.
That's
we
right.
still don't know at this moment. They get back to present day, and when he walks in, Elliot has a flashback of his dad putting the envelope of Dell down on that table that is still right there. So he pulls that drawer open, can't find it, and then turns on a flashlight, sees the envelope back there, kind of stuck to the side of the table, inside the innards of the table.
Yes, sure.
If you will. And he's like, oh my gosh, my dad never gave this to Dell. Can you believe this? And so they run to go make things right. And Dell is like, wow, this is amazing. Of course, I didn't know about this. And Kat's like, you never got this? And Dell's like, no, I never got it. If you would have sent me a plane ticket, of course I would have come.
Duh.
I did know. She does say I did know
but
about.
But big hug. They hug it
Big
out.
hug. They hug it out. They're goods again. Casey comes over and says, hey, Dell, I've got some news. My dad, he's pulling out of the deal. Now that the deal was done, it's not done anymore. He can't do it. It's bad. Sent me his child to come and tell you. Deal's off.
We ripped it up.
And Dell's like, oh my gosh. So later they're all having dinner together. Not Casey, but everybody else, including Sam. Sam sits down in Colton's chair. Can you believe this guy?
Oh, this mofo.
Elliot says, hey, Dell, I got good news. I know you still are trying to figure out a way now to save the farm now that there's no deal. Well, Kat has some rare coins. I'm sure she's told you about them.
They actually say plot device on them.
From the 1800s, and I had them appraised by a coin guy.
Yes,
coin boy.
I got a coin guy.
And these
Coin guy.
These coins are going to do, it was worth a small fortune. And I think it's going to save the farm. And Dell is like, finally, somebody is willing to give me money to save the farm.
Save me.
Thank you. Later, though, Dell tells Sam, I'm glad you're my neighbor. I like knowing that you're next door and can come over for a nearly nude segment at any time. She didn't say that last part, but we all read into it. At Elliot's, oh, there it is. At Elliot's house, Kat shows him the book that she found in the fireplace. And Kat says, hey, I think I'm going to publish this joint.
Yeah.
Kind of steal the work. Set the record straight about the town. And Elliot is like, hey, wow, that's amazing. Also tells her, hey, I time traveled. So that's a pretty big deal. And they end up kissing. And then Kat's like, hey, I just need some time.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hey, time?
Need time.
We've been
It's
doing
only
this.
been 2.5 decades. I need some time.
So she goes to the woods to think about Thomas, as you do after you kiss another guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, what about it? And like even like kind of envisions him there. And it's at this point that someone pops out of the pond. Is it
no.
Thomas? No. Is it Susanna? No. It's Jacob.
Ooh, Crandall.
It is Jacob. Jacob's come home. He's found the way home.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Jake's coming home.
And he tells Kat, I'm ready. I'm ready to come home. And so they hug. So Alice noticed earlier Casey's necklace. If you remember that, I was like, this looks a little ring on the necklace. That looks a whole lot like the same thing that I've been wearing that my parents gave me. And her mom sent her a picture of the two of them together, and she zooms in and she sees the necklace. It's like, this is the same necklace. Could it be that Casey is Alice's child?
Maybe.
We don't get that answer. So at Elliot's, he looks at the wall, remember, and he decides, you know what? Now's the time to finally demolish this. Yay, we did it. Kat and Jacob are walking towards the house, and Jacob takes Kat's hand and is like, are you sure you want to, Kat's like, are you sure you want to do this? And it's like, yeah, I do. Elijah and Susanna, they told me that I should go. And, even Thomas told me to come. And Kat said, hold on a second there, cowboy. Thomas is dead. He's like,
Tom's not dead. He's surely alive.
He was wearing armor.
Wearing metal armor
Underneath the shirt.
Yeah.
He was wearing, as Dan sang, armor underneath his shirt, which caused the bullet not to pierce any skin whatsoever. And it's like, wow, that's incredible.
You still talking?
Dude, if you reach the end of the second length, it's gonna be wild.
No, I'm not. I got 658 here. And so Jacob's like, hey, let's go inside and all that stuff. We then go back to the party and we see the person that we saw turn around, and it's Colton.
It's Colton.
Colton's watching Colton and
Oh
the kids.
my God.
And then we see
Baby.
flashback to the 1800s, and we see that scene where it's like,
The old
hey,
lady.
I know the pond is calling to you. It's going to take you where you need to go, but it's not your time yet. And then we see this person say to this kid, you have to be patient, Colton. And that, my friends, was The Way Home, Season 2, Episode 10. Bring me to life. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark.
Right now, for $10 to bet as you choose.
Wow.
The line after "Call my name and save me from the nothing I've become." What does she say there? Nothing I've become.
On the flip side,
No.
I can't believe I think it depends on
Yeah,
what
the
verse
first
you're at.
chorus through.
Oh, I have no idea. I have
It's
no
a
clue.
midnight on the horizon. What does she say there? Before I come undone. Before the line, before I come undone. What does she say in that line?
I don't. I meant to listen to it
Until
last
last
night.
week, I thought it was "Bid my thoughts arrive." That's the best I got. It's actually
but-
"Bid my blood to run."
Bid my blood
Bid
to
my
run.
blood to run.
Oh,
Bid my blood to run.
Bid my thoughts
that's
awry.
actually the
Bid
name
my
of
thoughts to run.
that's actually yeah, it's actually the name of my upcoming memoir. But all
A
right.
Ryan
There you go.
Pappolla story.
Let's get to it, folks. We're talking about the season finale of The Way Home. Let's share our thoughts on it. Lots to get to, of course. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. We're going to start with a hot take. You said some blasphemous things in your intro. I'm ready for you to dive into those things now. What'd you think of the season finale, season 2 of The Way Home?
We knew what we were getting with Ride, right?
that's
Like
true.
Ride had a twist that we all called in the season premiere. Every episode was predictable. The acting wasn't particularly good. There was a lot of tarps. I'm not here to tell you that Ride is a better show than The Way Home. However, what I will tell you is that it creeped upon so bad it's good territory. I'm not even going to say it got there, but it creeped there. We had a lot of fun, and we knew those showrunners knew where they were going. They knew what they were doing, for better, or emphasis here, for worse. Here's what happened. Here's what happened on The Way Home, though. They came up with this Colton twist. I believe it was either the premiere or episode 2, and then they got really, really, really excited about season 3 and 4, and they forgot about this little thing called season 2, episode 3 through season 2, episode 10. Brand, how long did you just talk for? 18 minutes?
Yeah, about 16 minutes. Yeah.
Nothing happened in this episode. Nothing happened. And the few things that did happen, Jacob just pops up out of nowhere. There wasn't even an inciting incident. The whole first 2 seasons of this show are about Jacob, except for the episodes that were actually supposed to be about Jacob. That's really bad. I think I know where they're going with the Colton stuff, or maybe I don't. The problem is everything is so terribly convoluted. From the first scene of this episode, it felt like a parody. We talked about this when Jacob was rowing backwards on the boat, doing the row your boat earlier this season. It's like they filmed that weird. This was the same thing. It seemed like a historical parody. All of this was so stupid. They have Elliot give us the speech about how the show works that we've known for 20 episodes, except that's actually not how the show works. By the end of the episode, Del didn't even meet Jacob. The only thing the three of us were is granted. Listen, sometimes surprises are good. Sometimes it's good to take the audience on a journey they're not expecting. However, this means we're going to be not only be in 18-14 next season, but also wherever the heck Kid Colton was from. This show stinks. I can't wait for season 3.
Nicely done. Nicely done. That's good stuff.
Thanks.
And you know what? With him on Ride. With him on Ride. Not a better show.
Thank you.
But sometimes you just want a good cheeseburger or a bad cheeseburger, or to know that you're eating actual beef. you want to know, you know what I mean? Like I get it. I get what you're saying, Rye Guy. Brand?
I don't
We're back, baby. Here's Brand. You ready? We're back,
Brand,
baby.
tell him what you
Hold on.
loved it.
I did like it. I will say I did like this episode. I would shut it down, please, sir. And by the way, behind this box, still have one of those boys. I don't particularly think that this should have been the season finale. I would have liked this episode a lot more.
Yeah,
maybe as that
episode 2.
episode 6, that big 6 moment, you know, when we had last season, we're like, I wonder what episode 6 is going to be like this season. It should have been this type of thing, right? That kind of gets us to somewhere and does something. It does feel overall, now knowing everything that we know, it does seem like season 2 was a bit of a waste. I do think we have set some things up for season 3. Call me a hopeless romantic, but
We're back, baby.
I do think that
Oh my
we
God.
have set the foundation of what could be a good season in season 3. Unfortunately, we got to wait until January to get there, and not next week, because it should have been episode 6. I liked it. I liked the episode. I loved the episode, okay? I loved it. And I got to say, a little trickery here, because we had gotten to about 38 minutes into the episode, and I had forgotten that we had no closure on Jacob, which was the whole prediction that we had. It was like, hey, what do you think's going to happen with Jacob? Nothing had happened, and then he pops right on out of the water. That was weird. To Ryan's point, that was weird.
It's the nicest way to say poorly written I've ever heard in my life.
But it's hard, because I like Alice and Elliot's time traveling. And I like the conversation that Elliot was able to have with Colton. I like where they're setting up with Colton, even though that it does. There's lots of problems if we think that obviously Colton knows about time travel. So we're gonna have to deal with that at some point. That Colton knew about time travel, and his son went missing, and did nothing about it. We have some problems, but I have faith. I think season 3 is going to be a bomb season. And by that, I mean good. I meant to say a banger.
Okay,
a banger of a season. I think it's going to be great.
We agree on something.
I'm ready to go. Dano?
So the thing.
Dan, one thing real quick. Dan, one thing real quick. Sorry, I forgot this. It wasn't in my notes. You know how they absolutely 100% knew that they punted on season 2? Is that not only is there a lower third before the episode ends that's saying Way Home coming in season 3, but if you were watching with commercials, with 8 minutes left in the episode, they were like, here's 30 seconds on how great season 3 is going to be, even though season 2 had not ended
That's
yet.
real bad.
That is like a telltale sign that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yelling. I just didn't like it.
Please,
go ahead.
please. No, it's deserved. It's earned. The thing about my buddy Bran over here being the eternal optimist is that when he does finally reach the all hope is lost place, when he realizes it, like in anything, food, whatever it is, like if Bran and I had a meal in Costa Rica at the airport and he was like, it's American food, I'm finally going to get some American food, chicken tenders, wings. And then I knew in my head, this food's probably not going to be great. When it finally snaps for Bran, it's going to be really bad. Like he's going to have a really hard time. And I feel bad for him already. Rye Guy and I are already there. Listen, there's a couple of different ways in which this episode is really terrible. Number one, everything amazing about the first season hinges on loss. Kat has lost her brother. Kat has lost her dad. Kat believes the pond is a way for her to fix that. And part of her way home is realizing that she can't fix it, and that there's beauty in the ashes, and that we should move forward and we should mourn loss, but rejoice in life and find something to live for that's there for your daughter, your mom, your town, your friends, whatever it is. All that's gone. All that just right down the toilet. It's gone. You know why? Jacob's back. Colton's back. Everybody's back. Nothing matters. So that's one. It took you all of 20 episodes to ruin your time travel conceit, to make it about the fact that you can always bring people back to life whenever you want, and it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Everything can be fine. It's okay. Thomas isn't really shot. Colton's still alive. Jacob's coming back. This doesn't matter. None of your consequences are consequences. It's stupid. That's one. Number two, Bran ran out of runway on the music for an episode that didn't move the plot forward at all, aside from Jacob coming back, and also shows you how little they were doing the rest of the season. The amount of things for us to not move the football forward at all in this season. A lot of stuff happens in this episode. We find out that the whole land deal that's been going on for 10 episodes doesn't matter. People come back that weren't around for 3-4 episodes. The fact that she just takes the coin money and uses it, like so much contrived BS in this episode to move us forward. Where was that? The one thing I'll say to Bran's hot take is this, is if all of this happened in episode 2, I would do a big eye roll and go, all right, not my favorite, but at least we're getting somewhere. At least we're getting somewhere, and we're going to do something this season. It didn't happen in episode 2. It didn't happen in 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. It happened to end the season where literally nothing happens. The fact that the Jacob storyline is where it is appalling. Yeah, I hated it. And after hearing Ryan talk, we had a lot of fun on those ride episodes. I didn't have to feel like I was raining down on people's parade every week on this podcast.
That's because the biggest stakes were rain.
The episode, wait a minute. The show itself was bad, but in a way that made this fun. The Way Home is bad in a way that makes this unfortunate because now we're being bad on top of it for people who there's a group of, I don't want to yuck somebody's yum every week where there are some people that are still really locked in. And I hate that. With a movie, it comes and goes. It's done. Next movie. With this show, there are people that still love the show. And every week, I am lining up and putting a ball on the tee, and I'm aiming square at your head because I think it's dumb and it's stupid and I think it's not good. And we didn't have to do that with Ride. Everybody knew it sucked. Everybody knew what we were dealing with. Everybody knew what we were dealing with. Hate it.
Yeah, and that's the one other thing I'll say is that Dan was out on this season before I was. I actually really enjoyed episode 1 and 2, portions of 3, and then it's been downhill from there. I want to like this show. I loved season 1. How lucky of a guy was I? Bran hit me up a couple days after Christmas in 22, said, do you want to cover this show? We don't know what it's about. The three of us dinguses had no idea it was about time travel. What a charmed life it was. I hate that it's no longer good, but I'd be lying if I said it's good.
Y'all, come on. It's time for all the feels we were talking about. What gave us those feels? Ryan?
I have such a headache. There was two things. There was two things I like. Dan, I'm going to piggyback off what you just said, and I kind of had a hunch that you were going to talk about it. I really, really like the line where Kat says, I really try to fix things, but I just end up breaking them.
Bingo.
And yeah, Dan, to your point, that should have been the whole premise of season 2. That should have been what all of season 2 is about. But Dan already articulated that better than I could have, so I really like that line. And then, yes, what's Elliot's real name? Evan Williams?
Yeah.
Those scenes with Colton were really on the nose in 99. The writing was borderline manipulative, but his performance was great. It made me feel something. There's been far too little of that this season. Very, very well done on that aspect of the performance, even if narratively, all that stuff's kind of a mess. But I thought he was note perfect in those couple scenes with Colton in 99.
Listen, I was surprised when Jacob popped up. I didn't see it coming. I just, especially at that point. So surprise feels, I don't really know what to think about the fact that it happened, to be honest with you. I had to sit with it longer. The fact that it just he was no, and to all the things that Ryan said, we're not privy to any of the conversations that he had, convincing him to go. That I did, but I was surprised. I was surprised with that. And then I think, I predicted that was Colton standing.
I predicted it in the first episode. I think one of us did.
Yeah, we had the conversation, talk about it. When he turns around, I like the reveals, the surprises. They still work for me. Still real to me. Still real to me, Ryan. Still real to me. Dan?
Brand's shooting.
He's
working and shooting.
Yeah, I'm so happy it works for you, buddy. And you know that. I am. I'm so happy it works for you. Ryan, weirdly enough, I wrote down here the scenes with Colton and Elliot, although the writing was on the nose, that's how you use the pond. That's how you do that, is knowing that you don't, I think we're underestimating the importance of loss in this show by bringing people back. I think, it's the great television shows and movies figure out a way for you to have some bittersweet emotions and not always give you hope that everything's always going to be okay.
You're talking about Lost?
Who is this?
Who, me?
Yeah. Who is this?
Frederick Lost.
Your name is Frederick Lost?
Named after the show. My parents gave me the last name Lost because of the show. They changed their names.
They gave you the last name Lost?
They changed their names, Ryan.
You sound a lot like Rig Dilby.
I know the man.
You know the man?
I know the man.
You know Frederick Lost and Rig Dilby have hung out.
We met at Fitzy's.
We met at Fitzy's. This all checks out. You sound like you could be his brother.
I don't know. His last name's Dilby. My last name's Lost. Do the math.
Okay.
It's a great show.
Great. It is. It's a great show. It's a great show.
My parents changed their last name
to Lost,
so that my last name would be Lost.
I understand.
Then they changed their names back, so it's just me stuck with it.
Is your email not at Tim Tebow or whatever at yahoo.com? Is that you as well?
I vaguely remember what you're talking about, but no, it's not. Lost a great program, is all I'm trying to say.
Thank you, Frederick Lost.
That's it from me. Yeah.
I like the finale.
Great. Yeah, I do. The Lost finale is really good. I like it a lot.
Some people don't.
Okay.
Rick does.
Yeah. Of course he does. He gets it.
He does.
So what I'm saying, Ryan, is that the scenes with Elliot and Colton are great because there is this they all exist in a space where you're not going to get it again. It's what makes those scenes, some of the best scenes between Gleason and Nahi and About Time work so well, is because there's a finality to them. And I look, there are people even in the chat right now who are like, why are we upset about this? It doesn't matter. They're not following the rules. But understand, we're just giving two takes, right? I'm not saying that this doesn't work for everyone. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. I'm saying that this show hasn't lived up to the promise of the first season. I think the first season is magically good. This season has been unfortunate in its just convolution.
And Lost is great.
Thank you,
right.
Freddie. Can I call you Freddie or
no,
is that Frederick? Just Frederick. I'm really, really sorry. So yeah, I don't. It's not about following the rules or any of that. It's about the fact that shows rise and fall on characters and how they're created and what their arcs are. And right now, it seems like we're spinning our wheels for the sake of doing it more of a Hallmark way instead of with any integrity. And so, if anything can happen, then nothing does. And so the scenes with Elliot and Colton at the time that they existed in the show were really, really solid, poignant, and very well acted by both of them.
It felt like more of a Hallmark thing and not something with integrity.
Yeah. What is there? Did I say something wrong?
No, it's just it's so savage. It just felt like more of a Hallmark show and not a show with any integrity.
That's right.
So.
It felt like it's
cool,
becoming the thing that I don't like.
Yeah, it's cool that nearly 6 years in, that the premise of the whole thing still
show
rings
us
true.
the show, still the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with the Wait What and the Sink or Swim here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Rig, you know that guy?
Oh, you mean Freddie Lost? Only I can call him Freddie. We did meet at Fitzy's. He's wrong about that finale, though. I will say his parents went a little hard by changing their last names.
Did he say, Rig, you might notice, did he say that his parents...
Like, my last name used to be Hogan's Heroes. Rig Hogan's Heroes. But it didn't really work for me, so I went back to Dilby. The Dilby family crest is
it's a great crest.
It's a great crest.
Yeah. Can't show it on TV, but it's a beautiful crest.
You can't.
Middle fingers alone. Did he say that his family, after he was born, changed their last name back, but he was stuck with it?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he's the only one that's lost.
Wow.
He's
well, and what a metaphor.
Yeah, you're right.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Amen. Hello, it's a dynamite drop-in, right, guys? Good to see you still there in that undisclosed location with just blinds.
Yeah, don't ask questions.
Are you selling those blinds? Is there a promo code
Blind
I can
chalet?
get there?
I got to make a buck on the side.
You got it.
It's time for the Power Rangers. I'm out of here.
All right, bye, buddy. It's time for the Wait What, is where we talk about what in this episode of The Way Home made us go, wait, what? And Ryan, I'll start with you.
I limited it to 3.
It's impressive.
So, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Ryan.
We've talked about thank you. Thank you, Lost. It's like that Community episode. Thanks, Lost. So serious question. I know we've talked about this throughout the weeks. Was anyone actually invested in this Kat and Thomas thing? Like, I can't see the chat. I've been out of the Facebook group for a couple weeks. I'm not on the Way Home Reddit. So, and I'm not even trying to be funny, because like Alyssa was 3/4 asleep when we watched this thing late at night on Easter Sunday. God bless. And she was just like, she rises up like the Undertaker, and she was like, "Did anyone care about these two?" Like, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't been on the internet much lately.
From the people in our chat, I get the feeling that there's a group of people that did care about Kat and Thomas. Yes.
All right, cool. I thought great. Again, I'm also not here to yuck yums. I mean, so great. But I was just like, man, because it's just crazy when you think about what 6-7 minutes of episode time, which is a lot when you only have a 42-minute standard time finale, is dedicated to this thing, and no time is dedicated to Jacob other than him popping up out of the pond like he was the first song of a concert in 1999. So it's bizarre that Elliot and Kat have these vague conversations in present day, Alice, where Alice asks what happens in a time of the days of yore, and Elliot knows what happens, but just responds vaguely, and then Alice doesn't question it, and then the pond very coincidentally takes her exactly where she needs to go as to the point of the show, when Elliot could have just told her so she'd be prepped, and we've done this for 20 episodes, and I'm here to tell you, it's really poopy. And then one more, and this
it's
is where,
really
listen,
they're going to put that on the DVD box, I believe, of the season 2 Way Home.
It's really poopy.
Physical media is reserved strictly for Lacey Chabert. And so last one, and listen, this may be where I'm naive. I don't travel much, so just tell me if I'm wrong. A plane ticket to Minneapolis for whenever she wants. Open. Is that a real thing? You can just get, like, anytime I buy a plane ticket, if I'm coming to Greenville, actually, Dan, you and I had the conversation like this just a week ago. I needed to tell you the date, and then God forbid if someone actually gets the date wrong, we need to fix that plane ticket.
I feel like what she was meaning to give her was a gift card. I don't think it's
not a blank check. From blank check.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron.
An open ticket. I don't know about still.
Yeah.
But at least like pre 9/11.
Yeah, but this is post still. It was 2008.
But I mean, Well, I mean, they were like,
well, we got several people in the chat saying they exist. So you still to this
TSA
day
didn't do like shoe checks until 2006. Like they took some time. So I mean, at least in the early 2000s, you could still do an open.
So
ticket.
Is that open ticket still good? Did she open?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
But then how much does that like?
It's got to cost a fortune.
Here's the other.
How much is that going to cost this new mother?
Right, because here's the other thing. That coupled with the fact that a couple weeks ago we were just hopping on red eyes to England. This show has no idea how the airline industry works. They should be ashamed of themselves. Frederick lost Oceanic Flight 815. Right. I can't believe that he stands for this. Unbelievable.
Open-ended.
Sorry, Frederick. I don't know if he's still here, but sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's it for you. Great.
I'm not.
It's like she kept waiting on the camera.
I got a couple.
Producer was busy.
One, I do think that we have mistaken. I think that we've mistaken.
Honestly, that was my fault.
You asked her to look up.
It's like you tossed a pitch. The rest of us had left the field. It just landed in the sandlot. It's just you out there throwing the ball by yourself.
I've had more hits than misses this season. Hopefully that one's on me. I know everyone likes this show and I don't. I'm sorry. I apologize. Brand,
I think we perhaps have mistaken hard kisses for being the same as hot kisses.
Yes.
Let's talk about the two kisses in this episode.
Bring it down.
Was, good. The other was hard. The kiss between Kat and Thomas was a hard kiss. You can't just smush your heads together hard and expect us to be like, woo, woo. It made my face hurt. They went at each other so hard. Whereas later in the episode, Kat and Elliot have a nice little smoochy fun time. Hot kiss, hard kiss.
Nicely done.
It's an important difference. 2, the first thing that you should tell somebody before they are about to time travel via the pond for the first time is don't wear jeans. And not only
jean count, here we go.
Not only does Alice not tell him, hey, brother, you might want to.
Alice is being played by Hulk Hogan. Hey, let me tell you something, brother. Denim is not going to stretch the way you want it to.
You might want to change out of those jeans. She doesn't say that.
And when you get out of that pond, let me tell you something, brother. In 1814, the NWO.
She's in her jeans. No one
she's never learned.
And y'all at the way home, writer's room, if you're listening, if I can make, as a person who is for the show and has been a big fan and all that stuff.
for the show.
Go tight on two. I implore, I beg, can we put an end to this misery in season 3 of people time traveling in jeans? It is one request. It is one request from one person, but please let's not do it again. Last but not least, one, hey man, I know I'm about to get shot. Here's some coins. You know what he left out of that? I'm wearing armor. Just tell her.
Yeah.
Just tell her you sent this poor woman walking after a hard kiss, knowing full well she thinks you're about to die. And you know I'm wearing armor that looks similar to the weird thing Emily Blunt was wearing at the Oscars with the big things. You were wearing armor.
Interesting fashion talk from Brandon.
Tell her you're wearing armor. Go ahead.
I mean, if he wasn't sure that the armor would work,
Yeah, but just say, hey, heads up.
No.
There's a chance.
but he
Maybe.
wouldn't want to give her false hope.
Oh,
and-
why? You can watch.
But maybe he doesn't want her to keep coming back. He wants her to live her life.
Then don't hard kiss her. Then don't hard kiss her.
And he wants them to live their life in 2024.
He hard kissed
Or
her.
2023, whatever year we are in Canada.
He hard.
No one knows.
He hard kissed her and sent her packing, knowing full well.
And she can just think about that hard kiss in 2024 for the rest of her life.
And
Don't. It's gross.
all right,
Dan?
a couple things. First of all, the chat is unanimous. You're wrong on the kiss, so there's that.
What do you mean I'm wrong on the kiss?
It was
Unanimous.
a good
They
kiss.
all love the kiss.
It was a good kiss.
I would have kissed him.
Yeah, there you go. Second
Y'all
of all,
I hope you got a good dentist. Y'all got go back to me. I hope y'all got a good dentist because try it at home. Go up to your significant other and just smush faces hard and go, oh, that was fun. You got teeth coming out, blood going out like you're Andrew WK. Get out of here.
That is not how hard
They went
kiss.
so hard.
This is such a logical
Hard kiss.
fallacy on your part. It's crazy. You're right on the denim. You're right on the jeans.
Brand, you're
Yeah,
sweating.
I'm so mad right now.
What I will say about the armor is that when a bullet hits that armor, everybody's going to know you're wearing armor. Like you.
Also, Dan, real quick, point blank range, by the way.
That is not, those rounds are not armor piercing from 3 feet away in 1814. Get out of here. Hey, can you imagine them shooting him going, anybody else hear a thunk? Or was that just me? It didn't sound like it went into his heart. It sounded kind of like a thunk, but maybe nobody else got thunk.
a bit like this.
It sounded like you just,
Hey, what's wrong with his chest?
spit a
I
water,
definitely went through. There's nothing we could do.
spit a water red man
Connor,
into
look
a
at him.
spittoon. No, nobody else heard a thong, just me. Okay, he's dead then for sure. He just has like a metal heart or ribs. Great, good. As long as we know he's dead, that's all that matters. Listen, you're leaving your town for forever. You have written your mom a letter that says, I love you.
Dear
I'm
Mom,
sorry.
I never wrote you
I'm
over
going
and
to call it. That's right. I love you. I'm sorry. Here's a picture of my daughter. Here's a plane ticket. Should you, A, take that to the house knowing she's not there, put it in the mailbox, under the doormat, maybe inside. B, leave it with Elliot. Can't do that. That option's gone. Or C, leave it with your family's worst enemy. Leave it with the person most likely to say, screw you, I'm not giving her the letter. Why'd you do that? You know she's not there. Just go up there and put it in the mailbox. Put it in the thing. Put it on the whatever.
Put it on the map.
It's so easy. That's all you got
Put
to
it
do.
in the door.
And then this drove me bonkers. They find the letter in present day. If at any point you wanted to see for certain if you could change the past, D the candy. That's true.
candy.
I
You
did not
missed
say
D
D
the
the candy.
candy.
That's on me, 100%. if you want to see if you could change the past, instead of giving that letter to Dell in 2023, 24, whatever year it is, why not jump in the pond and go deliver that letter in 2007 or 8? Why not go do that and see what happens? Seems like you know where something concrete is that you could deliver to her to see what that does to their relationship. And maybe you do change 17 years of trauma. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline. So worth a shot is all I'm saying. Elliot breaks out the Finn theory. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The Finn theory is we can't go into the future in the pond, but with a Landry, but we can go in the past. That is not a theory. That is how the pond works for everyone. Everyone. Guys, the Landrys can only go in the past. Like, what Elliot did was the same rules that apply to what the Landrys do. There's not been a single Landry that's gone past their own timeline. So his theory is just, I can do what the Landrys do as long as I'm with a Landry. How did that take a whole page? How did it take a whole page? I don't understand. You got arrows pointing different ways. You really grinded that one out, Copernicus. Just do the thing that they did it. Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? That was terrible. That was real bad. And it was almost worse that Alice tries to explain the scientific method to him. Theories are meant to be tested. Yes, that is. You have a hypothesis first, then you jump right in there. That's how you do that. That's just how it goes. Are we to understand, based upon this whole coin thing, that you can now bring stuff from the past into the future? Is that how we can understand it?
You can't bring stuff from the future to the past.
We can't bring medical supplies to the past, but we can bring coins that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, lowball, into the future. What are we doing? Why aren't we every time you go? You want to fix the land problem? You don't need to use the 2 coins that Thomas gave you that you might have some emotional attachment to. Jump in the pond, go find literally anything that will be of value.
Maybe it's only if it comes from someone, is given to you.
All right, yeah. Now we're
take these, you can give these.
Now we're just in a full rigmarole. Now we're just making it up as we go along.
No, it makes sense.
The coins to me were the absolute worst part of this episode. All of a sudden, we have a land thing that's been going on for 10 episodes. How do we fix it? How do we have her sell the land and not take money and get the land back? Well, Casey shows up, says the deed is ripped up, the bill of sale is ripped up, and hear me out, coins. Coins are how we do it. This was a mess. That's all I got.
So is your problem is just, why are they doing it more?
Yeah, like if this is something that could happen, how is this, like, all of a sudden we've used the 2 coins that were having emotional attachment. Thomas gave those to Kat. Kat has feelings for him. There's some emotional attachment there. There's so much in 1814 that would be worth so much in 2024.
I'd sell those coins too after that kiss.
This is the age. All right. This is the age old. Like, if you went back in time, it would be easy to make a fortune. There's so much.
Bet on the old World Series.
Yeah, but you don't even have to bet anything.
Bet on the World Series.
Yeah, it's the World Seas. The World Seas.
The World Seas.
Who was playing in
the World
Seas in 1814?
Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's time for Sink or Swim. It's where we talk about the things that are might swing and swim, and we might go swimming. Ryan, what do you got?
For 2 things. One, I like that all of us, especially me, really figured this segment out this season. It's one of my greater accomplishments, literally in the history of my life. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It became clear. No, thank you. It became clear to me in about the last 10 minutes. One of the few things I got excited about was that nearly nude neighbor guy is going to be a villain in season 3 because everything is lining up way too perfectly with him and Dale and all of this other stuff. And that excited me until I realized that there's no chance that happens because this show never does anything that it would possibly do that I could like. So I'm probably dead wrong. And that had me sinking, Bran. Over to you.
I'm swimming on over to the,
Are you?
I think of the things that I'm looking forward to or am intrigued by in the season 3. obviously intrigued by Colton and what's going to happen there. And, are we actually going to see Jacob and Adele in the same room together? All those things. But the way that...
all the things we had questions about at the end of season 1.
The way that Hot Boy Sam responds to coins was weird. It was a weird look on his face, as if he knew what coins they were talking about or something. Is there something nefarious about Sam and these coins? I don't know. My sink is we are 10 episodes later. Well, 9 really, still no answer about the dirt.
That's right.
And I'm ready to concede dirt 1, brand 0, and that may just be the way things are. Dan,
I hate that.
The only issue of season 2 was the
dirt. That's it.
That was it. The only hole to fill. Quite ironically.
Everything else.
Here's a question. Maybe, and this will answer next season. But does Colton, being able to time travel and all that, and does that dictate or change in any way him being a horse? I don't know.
Yeah, Colton is horse. That theory took a little bit of a...
Well, he's dead. As far as we know. We don't know
I don't think...
We don't know that at all,
He looks the same in the green screen that he does.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question. Because does he waddle after getting hit?
Yeah,
does he waddle to a pond?
The biggest sink for me is that when you see him turn around, 1, the green screen is terrible there, but 2, he looks the same age as he does in the background, which means, I don't know, man. It means so much bad and not a lot of good from a standpoint of keeping this show with any stakes, in my opinion. I don't know if this is a sink swim or more of a what the Hallmark, which we don't do here.
We don't do those
if
here.
You'll grant me the time.
I'll grant you.
Is Dell did they establish Dell is from North Carolina before this episode? Or did they just toss that in there in this episode? Because it was nice to hear, because Dell is, Andy McDowell is using her Gaffney accent, which is close to North Carolina, very close, probably 20, 30 miles from North Carolina. That seemed to be a weird thing to just add in at this point in the show. Maybe they said it earlier and we missed it. I would assume someone that listens to this. Okay, yeah, somebody in the chat is saying they've said it before. Good. Glad.
Teresa, can you scroll up really fast, Aaron? Teresa says, and I don't even, is this a real theory? He's dead in that reality or dimension.
There we
the
go.
show is going to a different dimension next season. Black
Yes.
hole. That is what the space behind Elliot's wall lit or hit, maybe? Did he open up a dimension when he knock down that wall? Is that an actual theory?
I think the thing is, we talked about this in season 1, but time travel shows either have to have one timeline or they have to have multiple dimensions. Those are your 2 options to solve
your
the
rules,
bootstrap.
if you will.
No, those are the 2 that if you look that extend far before
The
I
snake
was born.
skin theory and
Either you have one timeline
Draft
and you
Nurse?
can either change that or not, or you have multiple dimensions. So there's multiple versions, like in Across the Spider-Verse or No Way Home or
Are
whatever.
you more snake skin or draft nurse?
Draft Nurse. Yeah, for sure. I think we all are, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but we all are, right?
We all are.
Yeah, of course.
We're all
the
draft
snakes. Are you kidding me?
Are you human or are you draft
So
nurse?
basically in the first season, they were very clearly a one timeline show, and it appears that they're switching to multiverse or multi-dimension, and that is all in all disappointing, but it is what it is.
Well, season 2 is behind us. Season 3 will be back, I believe, in January. Can't wait for it. Ryan, I guess we'll see you in January.
Yep. Until then.
Yeah. Bye,
Dude,
everybody.
maybe even a little,
Maybe
even
Fast
a little,
Fridays.
maybe a
Maybe
little Force
even-
Friday.
Force Fridays.
Foam.
Force Fridays.
Foam to you.
Foam to you until
right.
then.
Was that it? Is that what I've been trying to figure out? Is that what it is?
Foam,
Foam
foam
to
to
you?
you.
Is that
Yes.
what-
Yeah, I love
All
that.
And
I'll
also
work
to
on
you.
Can't wait
We
for the
will be
shirt.
back tomorrow with a Dr. Lifetime Uncorked. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
The Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.